So, can you talk a bit about your story in dating? Like, how did you come to this point? And especially for someone your age, because a big misconception on social media is basically like, if you're older, you can't find a life partner. Like, basically, if you're like past the age of 40, oh my God, you have no chance. And past 50, there's no point. So, kind of give a good account of your story and how you are where you are right now.
Yes, that's a very good question about how I found my life partner. I was actually in my early 40s after about 3 years of being divorced and not really wanting to be alone. I realized that I was too young to be alone. And I thought to myself, what is the next thing for me? I could live another 40 or 50 years. So I really didn't know what to do because up to that point, I'd been married for about 14 years. So to be very honest with you, I didn't know what to do. It was through a situation at work where one of my staff members was going off to get married that was of an older age, and she had grown up children, and she had about a month off to get married. And I asked her, how, where did you meet your partner, your future husband? And she said she met him online. Immediately, my thoughts from my West African background is, no, this is taboo. You will not find any black people online. So she said, come, let's have a, experiment. Let's see how it goes. So I just thought, let me do something different out of my comfort zone. So she took me to the computer. We set up a little profile, minimum profile. And suddenly, all these black men were popping up, which is my preference was. And I was shocked, to be honest. I was very shocked that there were so many people online. And this is the beginning of my own journey as to how I started dating. I actually started dating online.
You said you dated online. So, what was your experience dating online? Because, also, what did you use? What app or what website was it? Because a lot of people, like younger, they use Tinder and they don't really like it and say that men are just on there to, for like sexual relationships and nothing more. So, what was your experience? Did you have any things that you're looking for or any things that you put in place to make sure that you wouldn't fall into that? So, what was the experience?
Yes, so my experience of dating online, the very good thing was that I actually had a bit of guidance, which is the person that I said was getting married in my place of work. So the good things that I did was initially I needed to make sure that I knew enough about myself to put onto the profile because there was a profile process. And I believe, like you said, there are some online dating sites that are known or have a bad reputation. So there are some safety guidelines when you're going online that you should follow. One of them being that you must make sure that you have other people that friends that know that you are going online. That's the first thing. You must follow all the guidelines around not giving your personal number out to strangers that you don't know because people, are on there for different reasons. But you need to know a bit more about yourself, what your interests are at that stage, because those are the things that will help to connect with people who might be of interest to you or you might have interest in. Now, I appreciate that from my background, being in my 50s, this is not the sort of thing that people will say, oh, no, it's not for me, shut it down. But really, it's a good way to discover more about yourself because they do tend to ask lots of questions. And I'm reluctant to mention any particular website because any good dating website, the guidelines should be very similar around keeping yourself safe, making sure other people know that you're on there and never giving out your personal number and using the website or the online system to begin the relationship to start with. And we live more on an online age now. So one should not be too much in a hurry to meet people physically because at the end of the day, the whole idea of finding someone is to be able to develop a relationship. It's a relationship. It's not a one night stand. So definitely making sure that you know about yourself. If you don't know enough about yourself at that age, that's very important. That's where, again, you'll need the support of family. What are you really into now? What is having a soulmate? What does that mean to you? For me, a soulmate is somebody you can connect with, both physically, emotionally, psychologically, and in an unconditional way. There has to be an unconditional way of loving one another. So that takes time. You won't do that overnight. So for me, safety online is very important. And all good websites will have guidelines around that to follow.